Viewers, the union government has made an unprecedented move on the Gandhi family. In a first-of-its-kind order, the Union Home Ministry, led by Amit Shah, has constituted a multidisciplinary probe panel to investigate the source of allegedly dubious donations to the Rajiv Gandhi Trust, the Indira Gandhi Trust, and at least one more organization connected exclusively with the Gandhi family. The probe has been ordered after Times Now exposed how the Gandhi family managed trusts received donations from the Chinese government. But even as the Congress began to react to the probe accusing the BJP-led ND of vendetta, Times Now accessed more documents that suggest that not just alleged scamsters like Mehul Choksi, but even Yes Bank's tainted founder Rana Kapoor also funded the Gandhi Family Trust. Now this, viewers, has shaken up the political establishment, not to mention the Congress party. The contributions have led the Enforcement Directorate to suspect that these donations may have been proceeds of crime. After all, viewers, Mehul Choksi, who is wanted in connection with defaults on loans worth several thousand crores, and Rana Kapoor have, of course, both been charged under sections of serious fraud, viewers, serious fraud. And if the money from some of their companies or the entities that they managed has been funneled into the Gandhi trusts, then even the Gandhis will have to answer. Because, viewers, the liability is both on the donator and the receiver. And if true, then prima facie, the Gandhis are in violation of FCRA norms, of the PMLA Act, several very, very stringent sections of the law to curb financial fraud. Now, first, viewers, before I bring in Nikunj Garg, let's show you the document trail that Times Now has unearthed, which links the Gandhis to dubious funds from the scam tainted. Rana Kapoor founded Yes Bank, listed as the Rajiv Gandhi Foundation's donor in 2016, 2017. Those are the pictures. There you can see them on your screens. On the left, viewers, is the brochure, the declaration of the Rajiv Gandhi Foundation listing Yes Bank Limited as a donor. Now, viewers, this particular donation is going to be probed by this one-of-a-kind probe panel. Mehul Choksi's Naviraj estate donated rupees 10 lakhs to the Rajiv Gandhi Foundation in 2014-15, a year earlier. And this is also going to be scrutinized because Naviraj Estates Private Limited, viewers, is a shadowy company set up, many people think, as a conduit for funds that were being diverted by the absconding alleged scamster to various entities. So it was really a shell company with really very little action on its books. It was just a shell company, viewers. Why would anyone go through such an elaborate mechanism to hide a donation to a trust that counts itself among India's leading think tanks as also agencies for public good? Now, viewers, these are questions that will be asked. Was this money given as some sort of a quid pro quo so that the Congress could look the other way when these individuals were actually looting the taxpayer? This is what the Enforcement Directorate has come to believe. We're not saying this, viewers. This is the allegation. I want to bring in Nikunj Garg. Nikunj, this is a very, very big story that we broke earlier today. First of all, tell us a little bit about this unprecedented investigating panel that has been set up. And secondly, a little bit about its mandate.
Well, Rahul, you were saying that the Enforcement Directorate has come to believe that this merits Prevention of Money Laundering Act charges. I would take it a little further. I would say that the central government, the union government, Ministry of Home Affairs as the pivot of it has started to believe or has reasons to believe that this merits a PMLA investigation. So the stakes immediately become higher. Now, this is unrivaled. This is there is no precedence available for this kind of a probe. As I said, that we are yet to see the terms of reference of this committee. But when it comes out, I am quite sure that it's going to be equally astounding. Now, you have bunched together all the central penal offense laws, and you have given an omnibus mandate to a special inter-ministerial committee. This is not an inter-department committee between one ministry, but quite clearly this is an inter-ministerial committee that has been formed, and various ministries, beginning with the Ministry of Home Affairs, which is the sole custodian of the Foreign Contribution Regulatory Act, can get engaged at certain points of time. Quite clearly, I see two right now, two of the top ministries atop the Raisina Hill, Ministry of Home and Ministry of Finance, ED and the FCRA laws being already invoked. Now, about the Prevention of Money Laundering Act charges, Rahul, there are two aspects to it. One is a critical aspect in which explanations are going to be very, very tricky to be made on the point of, strictly on the point of law, which is that the receiver cannot claim that because I was not privy to the fact that this was not proceeds of crime, I am innocent. That is not a provision in the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Fortunately, unfortunately, drafted, vetted, cleared both by UPA2 under the charge of Mr. Chidambaram as the finance minister. Now, the law is going to has certainly come to bite the Gandhis as the turn of the events. Part of the quid pro quo allegations that you were mentioning, those have, Rahul, been traditionally extremely difficult to prove, and I am quite sure that that's the trickiest part of this investigation, and that is why this enmeshing of all the federal financial penal laws under one committee, just to try and ensure, because there is again, more than the vendetta that many would allege, there is again a very critical aspect involved, and that is that multiple foreign agencies or bodies in the form of missions, charities, other kind of organizations are involved in this funding. And unless you enmesh all these central federal penal laws, you won't be able to get to the bottom of the matter. So therefore, it's going to be quite an investigation. We will all have to watch out for it. But at the end of it, if they are able to file a charge sheet, if they are able to refer, criminal references are made to either the Enforcement Directorate or the CBI, then for sure it's going to be one tricky trial for the Congress's brass to face.
Okay, just stay on with me, Nikunj. I just want to very quickly also talk a little bit about why there is this talk of a quid pro quo. Now, viewers, look at your screens. In 2010, we'll begin with 2010. Priyanka Gandhi sells a painting to Rana Kapoor for about 2 crores. It is a painting by Hussain. The painting was presented by M.F. Hussain to the Congress party. So that's the beginning of it. Is this a coincidence? The ED wants to know, or was Rana Kapoor forced to buy, for some favor, allegedly, this painting at a cost of 2 crores? It's an interesting one, viewers. Again, in 2010, Yes Bank receives 91 new branch licenses under the UPA, the same year that a painting was purchased for 2 crores from Priyanka Gandhi Vadra. It is rather unusual for a bank to get 91 new branch licenses. And viewers, many people are saying it's because Mr. Kapoor had a special relationship with the Gandhi family that he could wangle this. Now, whether this is true or not will be probed. Can't say. It's an open question. But certainly this quid pro quo is under the lens, or at least a hint of it. 2016, 2017, Rana Kapoor founded Yes Bank, listed as Rajiv Gandhi Fund's donor. As you can see, viewers, in that list, there are certain other companies, and that's fifth from the top, Yes Bank Limited. Is this also a coincidence? We don't know. Nikunj, stay on with us. I just want to bring in Mr. Desai, Rajiv Desai, who's an analyst, public affairs expert. Mr. Desai, not looking very good for the Congress party. You would agree there are one too many coincidences, and I'm punning on the word two. Mehul Choksi and Mr. Rana Kapoor to ignore Mr. Desai. One too many coincidences to ignore here.
Are you asking me?
Yes, sir. Indeed, I am.
I don't believe a word of this.
All of the investigative agencies have been suborned. We all know that. And so this is just another headline grabbing, using agencies to do headline grabbing. So you don't have to answer questions on the debacle on the border with China, the debacle in the handling of COVID, and just the general mess of the economy that is going to come and slap everybody in the face once these diversions finally play out. So I don't believe a word of it, and I don't think anything's going to come of it. I think you get a few headlines, and that's the end of that story. That's all I really have to say.
Okay, so you believe that this is a big diversion tactic by suborned, very important word used, suborned agencies. Nikunj, the agencies are all suborned. They're all bought out. And this is something, let me also tell you, before I come out to you, Nikunj, just give me 30 seconds. It's important for balance to put this out. Rahul Gandhi has tweeted about 2 hours back, and Rahul Gandhi has said in his tweet, Mr. Modi believes the world is like him. He thinks everyone has a price, or can be intimidated. He will never understand that those who fight for the truth have no price and cannot be intimidated. In other words, Mr. Modi is up for sale. He has a price. He can be bought. And of course, he can also be intimidated on the back of some sort of arrangement. And he will never understand the likes of Rahul Gandhi who ask inconvenient questions. Now, on the question of suborning or suborned agencies, Nikunj, what do you have to say? You've covered these agencies for, as long as I can remember.
Well, Rahul, if the subjugation charge has to be made by Mr. Desai or anybody else, it has to be on the Ministry of Home Affairs itself. Look here, this probe has not been ordered by any of the agencies. It's the federal government itself. It's the Ministry of Home Affairs which has set up an inter-ministerial committee under the charge of a special directorate of the Enforcement Directorate. Quite clearly, it is going to have representatives from other central ministries, but it's the union government and union government none less than at the level of the Ministry of Home Affairs ordering this probe. So don't blame the agencies here.
Okay, don't blame the agencies. Before I get the BJP to respond to a political allegation, let me get in Dr. Anand Ranganathan. Dr. Anand Ranganathan, another alleged scamster found donating to the Rajiv Gandhi Foundation. Rather coincidental, isn't it?
Good evening, Rahul. These are shocking revelations. And, this sounds suspiciously similar to what one Mr. Kushro Irani, the editor of newspaper Statesman, disclosed in his book The Caveat in the mid-90s, that the owner of Calcutta Electricity Supply Corporation was allegedly blackmailed into giving 75 lakhs to the Rajiv Gandhi Foundation, a princely sum in that amount, that day. And I saw Rahul Gandhi's tweet, as you said, typically playing the victim card. But as you know, what if is a bona fide genre in literature. So it might be helpful if one were to apply this trick to this issue. Let me explain. What if Narendra Modi started as Dr. Sambit Patra Foundation or SPF? What if the Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman sanctioned 100 crores to the Sambit Patra Foundation in her budget? What if she also hopped on to the SPF board? What if the BJP-run Ministry of Urban Development granted free to SPF usage of a building on prime Lutyens' land worth millions? What if the Chief Information Commissioner was also the secretary of the SPF? What if the CIC ruled that the SPF doesn't come under the RTI? What if the SPF refused to give CAG access to its files despite routinely obtaining hefty grants from government bodies and ministries? What if the SPF disallowed SC/ST reservations? What if the wife of Dr. Patra, the SPF chairman, acquired through the SPF a building worth 100 crores? What if a billionaire diamond merchant specializing in looting public banks of thousands of crores donated to the SPF? Well, how do you think Rahul Gandhi would react to all these what ifs? Would he not demand a probe? No disrespect to Dr. Patra and his athletic abilities, but he'd have been chased all the way to Timbuktu by an army of congressmen and women, plus an assortment of Maulanas who would refuse to sit down. In the end, Narendra Modi would have been forced to dissolve the SPF and dismiss Dr. Patra from the BJP and ask him to stay put at Timbuktu. But what if, the final what if, I promise you, what if Rahul Gandhi was intelligent enough to understand this inversion? By all accounts, this is one what if that we all know will remain fictional.
Well, Dr. Ranganathan, he might be saying this with sarcasm, but the point is, viewers, there is something to consider here. The Rajiv Gandhi Foundation is no ordinary run-of-the-mill NGO involved in public uplift and social service. This is an NGO that is managed by the Gandhis. The former Prime Minister of India, Dr. Manmohan Singh, is a board member. The other members are also members of the UPA government at one time. And it's not just these dubious individuals who have actually funded this Rajiv Gandhi Foundation. The Prime Minister's Relief Fund under Dr. Manmohan Singh funded it. Now, Sonia Gandhi is also not some run-of-the-mill individual under the UPA years. She was the head of the NAC that by all accounts controlled the government. She was the head of the chairperson of the UPA, the entire coalition. And she was the head also of the Congress party that actually picked Dr. Manmohan Singh out of academia, so to speak, and made him Prime Minister. So, where would his loyalties be? Where would his loyalties be, viewers? And it was presented to the world as a big sacrifice by Sonia Gandhi that, look, I'm not sitting on the Prime Minister's chair. We are nominating Dr. Manmohan Singh. So Manmohan Singh was not only giving Prime Minister relief funds to the RGF, ministries were also contributing, PSUs were also contributing, all taxpayer money. Obviously today, people want to know where that money went, because let me share with you a couple of things. This is very interesting and I want to open this out. What work does really the RGF do, or what did it do? Now, I went over their own website and it's fascinating, but there are about 8 DUT projects. Didn't do very much. I can go into the details if any of our panelists want really more details, but there's an Interact scholarship. The aim of the program is to provide scholarships for children. I'll just take one example. Affected by violent conflict in various parts of our country, the claim is that since the year 1993, across 11 states and 2 union territories, a total of 2,115 children were provided scholarship at their school level, and 134 of these pursued higher education and vocational courses. Now, with all the donors at their disposal, the RGF thought it fit to support 80 students a year, starting in the year 1993. Just 80 students, viewers. That's what is being revealed on the website. And there are several other. There is the Rajiv Gandhi Cambridge Scholarship, Rajiv Gandhi Access to Opportunities Program, Natural Resource Management, Heritage Archives and Gallery, and so on and so forth. And there are very sketchy details about the work they've done. Now, Ishkaran Bhandari, before I bring in GVL Narasimha Rao, Member of Parliament and leader of the Bharatiya Janata Party, to answer to the singular question on whether this is a witch hunt, I want to come out to you, Ishkaran Bhandari. What does this, in your mind, tell you? You've been involved in another litigation against the Gandhis. So tell me a little bit about what you believe is the real purpose of the RGF.
Rahul Singh, is it a coincidence Let me use the Ian Fleming in James Bond. He said, Mr. Bond, there is a saying in Chicago, equally true in Lutyens. Once is a happenstance, twice is a coincidence, third time it's enemy action. Let us see the fact sheet of coincidences. China gives money, Chinese embassies give money, Prime Minister Fund gives money, then we have PSUs giving money, then we have Yes Bank giving money, then we have Choksky giving money. So you have coincidence upon coincidence upon coincidence piling up where bodies which are not to give money to this fund give it money. And what is the result of this money? That certain statements they speak are used in China. What is the result of giving this money by people like Zakir Naik? That mass-scale activities of conversion he carries out for which he has run away from India. So the coincidences are piling up with the money being given. And this body which has been set up is finally a good body which has been set up. Hopefully, legally an FIR will be registered because only then will it have enough teeth to go into it fully. But we are still in early days of what is the mandate of this body. And just last one thing I would like to say. Rahul Gandhi tweeted, "Sabki कीमत नहीं होती." But definitely an iconic painter whose paintings on abstract objects people keep. But when he paints their own father, even that painting has a monetary value of 2 crores and is sold to a person of Yes Bank who gets spectacular benefits during the tenure. हर चीज की कीमत है, father की painting की भी कीमत है, and that is the sad reality of Congress party.
Tanveer Ahmed, sad reality. You're raising your finger. GVL Narasimha Rao is waiting to answer you. But yes, go ahead, Tanveer Ahmed.
The sad reality, Rahul, is when a political party, after coming into power, their fund rises from for 500%. That's the sad reality. The sad reality is Chor Choksy and their likes of them runs away out of the country when this government is in power. The sad reality is they let the entire corona thing blow up without control. That's the sad reality. Now when they are not able to control corona, China, Mehul Choksy, Nirav Modi, Vijay Mallya, everybody, now the beautiful game is let's blame it on Rahul Gandhi. Initially they used to blame it on Jawaharlal Nehru. Now who is the easiest target?
Okay,
Rahul
who's
Gandhi.
the easiest target?
If at all we
Let
say
me
Rahul
ask
Gandhi
you a counter
pura tha,
question. The
corona
money
mit
didn't
jayega.
go
If
into
I say
1 minute.
Rahul
The
Gandhi
money
pura
didn't
tha,
go
sab kuch
into.
mit jayega. Ye kab tak
At least
kheloge ye
as of
game?
now, we can say that the money didn't go into the Congress party. The BJP might be taking donations, no problems, but they take it for the party. This is going straight into the Rajiv Gandhi Foundation that seems to do very little work. There is enough evidence. No one listen to me. There is enough evidence on their own website to suggest there is not up to very much big gaps in their own description of what they do. No, 1 second. Listen to me. And thirdly, it's completely managed by the family. So if the money is not being put to good use, where is it going? And why can't there be account for it?
Rahul, can I just make one interjection here?
I want to ask you, Mr. Ahmed.
Rahul,
where is the account?
For the PM CARES fund.
No, listen to me. Listen, PM CARES fund and all of that. Listen, hang on. It's not going into the Prime Minister's own pocket, is it?
Happens of it.
Of course it is. Who knows?
The CAG, hang on. This will be, 1 second. The PM CARES fund will be audited, sir. You will get the audit report.
You need to really
It will be audited. But why isn't the Rajiv Gandhi Foundation being audited? Where is the report of the audit out in the public domain? Why is it not even part of the RTI?
Otherwise, you cannot really run the organization for more than 3 years.
No, you tell me, if government money is being given to it, shouldn't it not be opened up for audit? Public audit? Should it not come under the RTI? But it's not. It has fought, the Gandhis have fought a case.
If at all they are having that ATC,
would you not want to know, Mr. Tanveer Ahmed, you're so bothered about the PM CARES fund for the same reason that I am. Taxpayer money goes there, but you don't want to know where the taxpayers' money goes with regards to the Rajiv Gandhi Foundation. That's a bit strange. Apply the same yardstick. Don't you want to know? You don't want to know?
I would certainly also like to know.
So then tell me, why does the RGF resist scrutiny under the RTI? It's a simple question. GVL Narasimha Rao, why don't you answer this question? Doubting Thomases are saying that this is a witch hunt. This is an attempt to try and obfuscate You have failed on many fronts, and therefore today you are opening up another front against the Gandhis, beating them into the ground. Respond to that question.
No, Rahul, why should Rahul Gandhi be intimidated unless he has indulged in some kind of malfeasance, corruption, manipulation? Why should Rahul Gandhi fear? His own tweet clearly tells you that he is shivering. He is scared that the skeletons in the foundation cupboard will tumble out. I think, first of all, compliments to you and the Times Now, Rahul, for bringing out this story first into the national media focus. And I was there on that particular show with you in the afternoon, first time. And they have not been able to answer any of the questions that the media has raised, that we have raised.
Okay.
First of all, these foundations have become something like shell companies for the Gandhi family.
These are all allegations
where
you're
the
making.
money from the government and foundations is being laundered. And that money,
No, but why should we think this is a witch hunt? Let me pose the question that Mr. Desai is asking you. Why don't we think this is a witch hunt? It's been 6 years. You've been ruling for 6 years. How come you haven't investigated these funds for 6 years? That's the question.
I think we have had a lot of other focus. They are running away from inquiry. They have to pay more than 100 crores in tax dues to the government of India. The Supreme Court also said that you can't really run away from this probe. They are actually tax evaders. Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi. They are facing criminal charges.
Ishkaran Bhandari, is this a fact?
They claim,
tax evaders
they claim national
on big assets they own, they're not declaring. Is that a fact?
Did not exist.
Is that a fact?
Rahul, there are 2 points. One question to BJP, which would be there, is that the method known to law, this is an unusual body. The method known to law is an FIR, and then investigative agencies do investigate it. So in that sense, it's a little unusual body, but I have not seen the fine print. I don't think so. It's out yet, so we do not know what is the entire composition and the powers of the body. Otherwise, it has to be with the investigative body after an FIR, in which they can summon documents under the known law of the land.
Okay.
Second part here is, which is equally important here, is that why does money not go to Congress and to these trusts? Have you ever wondered? I will tell this answer because it's asked to me very often. Why was the Young India set up and National Herald money went to Young India, not to Congress? Because Congress, technically, on paper, is a political party whose president can hypothetically change. And whosoever is the new president may control the money. But when it goes to these trusts, that is for life, the trustees who are there. And the trustees are always the mother, the son, and the close family associates. So that is why you would see money not going to Congress so much as into all these various trusts, be it Young India or be it
Rajiv Desai? Logic?
I simply don't believe any of this.
No, you don't have to believe it. You just have to defend it.
The fact of the matter is that they the same questions have been asked about the
PM CARES Fund.
No, can I ask you then? The same questions you say have to be asked.
The opacity with which...
So can I ask you then why... No, one second. Then the BJP will turn around.
...was converted into bonds,
Okay,
anonymous bonds
fair
by
enough.
corporate people. I mean...
Okay, listen to me. Mr. Desai, let's be reasonable here. You are interested in what's going on with the PM CARES fund.
Calling the kettle black.
Okay, so listen to me. So you're also, so the pot is calling the kettle black. That means that the RGF is black for you. That there is an element here.
I did not say that. I said you are calling it.
Oh, I'm calling it. Okay, so now listen to me. You are interested in where...
I don't know what they do.
Okay, listen to me, Mr. Desai. Are you interested in where the money, where public money is going with regards to the PM CARES fund?
Slander and violence.
No, listen. No, you're going to answer this question tonight. You can't have two different principles being applied. One to the Congress and one to the BJP. The BJP, the NDA must explain what is happening with the PM CARES fund, but the Gandhis must not explain what is happening to a Gandhi family trust fund. That's rather odd.
The fact is the BJP also has to answer. The PM CARES fund has
So
to
they are
answer.
willing to answer. But why are the Gandhis not wanting to answer? Why are they calling this a vendetta? Tomorrow the Prime Minister will turn around and say these are all...
What happened to this
No.
guy,
So
Nirav?
tomorrow the Prime Minister is well within his rights to turn around and say that all of this is a exercise in diverting from the great job I'm doing. They want to enmesh me in some sort of fictitious case. This is also vendetta.
Do it, but don't get me involved in it. I won't be part of it.
So I want to ask you then, you don't want to be a part of it. I want to ask you a straight question. Give me a straight answer. Do you think the Gandhis don't owe an explanation to the public as to what they are doing with taxpayer funds? Simple question.
No.
No.
Just because you asked them or the BJP
Dr.
asked them,
Anand
of course
Ranganathan, he
not.
says no. Do you find that odd?
Okay, then Mr.
They don't know an explanation. They're above the public. They're above.
In 2 years.
I'll come to you,
Rahul,
sir. Shahid Imam Saab, I'll
6
come
years.
to you. Give me 30 seconds. Yes. Dr. Anand.
Rahul, disregarding the awful and shameless excuse of whataboutery taken by all the people who are defending the Rajiv Gandhi Foundation and Rahul Gandhi. Let me also say something which is very important in the interest of objectivity. I mean, the BJP doesn't exactly come out like a Cadillac from a car wash in all this. Can you explain why it took BJP 6 years for them to have this investigation? Obviously, they have a file on Congress. Obviously, Congress has a file on the BJP. Let me also say this, that many of the secrets that would come out once BJP goes out of power and Congress comes to power again, would be of the BJP. And they are in cahoots, as I gave you the example last time. Remember when both the Congress and the BJP were convicted by the High Court for violating FCRA guidelines, they coolly amended the FCRA Act retrospectively, making the conviction null and void. So when it comes to conflict of interest, we Indians don't understand the phrase. Conflict, yes. Interest, yes. But as I said, not when separated by a preposition.
Okay, not when separated by a preposition. GVL Narasimha Rao, respond, sir. Before I bring in Shahid Imam Saab, now that he's connected with us. Yes.
I know, you see, Dr. Anand Ranganathan is under some kind of, pressure to balance things. We are discussing about foundations today, and we are not talking about general party donations. All this information is in public domain. It is with Election Commission. It is information also with the Income Tax Department.
No, it's not.
We are talking about laundering of public money into private trust. We have not taken 1 penny from any government agency. Can you show me any example where we have taken money from government and put into our own party accounts or party foundations? I think this is an open and shut case.
So Dr. Anand Ranganathan, don't compare apples with oranges. That's what the BJP said. This is about a family-run trust that gets money from government. In other words, taxpayer money, and doesn't want to be transparent. Very quickly.
Rahul, just because Mr. Rao is facing uncomfortable questions from me, he is resorting to this ad hominem saying that, I'm trying to balance it. I asked a couple of questions. Now, please don't interrupt. Please don't interrupt. Please don't interrupt. I did not interrupt you. You haven't answered 2 questions. Let me add a third one, which you please answer the first of all, which is that why are corporate donations to political parties through electoral bonds anonymous? Isn't that a route of corruption? And number 2, why did you retrospectively amend the FCRA Act just because High Court convicted you? So don't tell me that your party is not corrupt. Please, I'm not going to buy that.
No.
Okay. No, hang on.
No. I need to respond. I think, Mr. Ranganathan, you want to come out as somebody who is unbiased, but in that attempt, you're trying to tar the BJP with the same brush as Congress.
Now listen, just answer the question. Don't get rude, because I can get rude as well.
Okay.
Just do your job. As a party spokesperson, do your job and answer the questions. Don't be rude, because I can be rude as well. Answer the question. Why are corporate donations anonymous? Why did you amend the FCRA Act?
Why should there not be? That's a better way of donations. We have made it.
Why should there not be? Tomorrow,
then you have
better way of donating.
Okay.
So tomorrow, Mehul Choksi, if Mehul Choksi donates to you $10 million,
okay,
you want it to be anonymous?
Let me step in here.
What kind of logic is this?
Dr. Ranganathan has a point, has a very important point, viewers. He's speaking as a citizen first. 1 second.
You are asking votes from the public.
One second.
And you are taking money from the corporates.
Okay. It's a very good point. Both questions, all political parties.
Because you don't get so
no,
much
1 second. GVL Narasimha Rao, please allow me. Please. Dr. Ranganathan has raised 2 very important points in the larger public interest, viewers. There's no doubt about it. All political parties today hide behind a wall. And a wall that has been erected, a firewall that has been erected. Let's not have any illusions about that. That is a debate that we can have. And we must have. And we have had. The question tonight is that on the one side, you have a political party, and on the other side, you have a family-run trust. Let's come back to the issue. And I want to bring in Shahid Imam. Shahid Imam, a family-run trust that doesn't want to be brought under the RTI, that receives funds from the government, from ministries, from PSUs, even from the Prime Minister's relief fund. And when
Rahul, let me
questions
tell you this,
are asked, sir,
I believe that
they cry vendetta.
I believe we have very. Rahul,
Would
let
all
me
of
tell
us
you
not
this, I
want to
believe
know
we have
where
very
taxpayer
strong
money
laws.
is going?
We have very strong laws.
Yes.
Now, today's debate, it seems to me, we are sitting in jury to decide the case, which it should not be.
Of course not.
If there are allegations, let it be probed.
True.
Let there an FIR be filed. Law is open for everybody. Every citizen can challenge it, not only through
Valid
your
point.
channel or anybody holding any position. Let
Valid
it first
point.
be decided. Let a competent court
So-
of law
so
have
do
its
you think
jurisdiction
today-
come to a conclusion that
Do you think then, let me ask you, sir, if you believe that everyone, and I completely believe what you're saying, I mean, yes, an investigation should take place. But there are people on this panel who say, hang on, this is like the pot calling the kettle black. This is obfuscation. This is vendetta.
I've been hearing that.
It's intimidation. How do you respond to that? Mr. Rahul Gandhi has said so.
I cannot answer.
No, but
I cannot answer to what they have said. All that I can say is
the Congress
that
party
this
has
is an
said.
allegation.
You're a Congress leader.
All that I,
Do you believe Rahul
all
Gandhi
that I
today
can
has an
say is this
opportunity to say, yes, come probe our trust. We are clean. And when we come out smelling of roses, then we will go to the public and say to them that, look, Modi went after my family, went after me because he has a problem with me and my family. Would that not suffice? Shahid Imam Saab? Shahid Imam Saab?
No, why do you think that? Why do you think that Rahul Gandhi will stall the issue and will hedge on the issue and not allow the investigation to take place after
Rahul,
not
10
power?
seconds.
One.
No, but he's calling it
Number
an
two.
exercise in
Who is going to
intimidation.
investigate, Rahul?
Why does he need to add? Why does he need to add a motive? He can say, look, yes, come. We are clean. Come, investigate. No problem.
Rahul.
Yeah, let us not
Rahul,
read too much in between the lines.
Firstly, you need
because,
to really identify the
as I
agencies which are
said,
going to investigate the opposition.
Tanveer Saab, let Imam Saab speak. Please show some courtesy. He never interrupted you even once. At least, unlike you,
Rahul,
he's
let me
interested
tell you-
in public
let me tell you
welfare.
very
And
frankly-
unlike you, Mr. Ahmed, he is coming
The way
out and saying very clearly that yes, there should be an investigation. We all have a right to know where our funds are going. What's wrong with that?
Rahul,
Now let me
I am
ask him
also
part
saying
two
that
of the
there got to
question.
be an
Mr.
investigation,
Imam,
but who will investigate?
should Rahul Gandhi be coming out today and trying to create sympathy for himself and saying this is an exercise in intimidation? That's my only limited question, sir. What have they got to hide? Welcome the probe.
No, I don't think he has. I don't think he has anything to hide. But the manner in which it has been done, as the other panelists have also said, Dr. Ranganathan has said, why 6 years? Why, when you cannot even name China? China has become Harry Potter's Voldemort for Modi today. Cannot even take the name of China. Why now? We have other burning issues to take care of, the pandemic.
Okay, we have other
The
burning
falling
issues to
economy.
take care of. It comes back to the question of timing. G.L. Narasimha Rao,
Rahul, 10
I
seconds.
think there
Yeah,
have
coming
been
10
several
seconds, Rahul.
scams.
coming to, yes.
There are several scams of the UPA which have been under investigation. The reason why this certainly has become an issue today is not a witch hunt, because these revelations have come out in public domain. The fact that China has Chinese embassy, this must have been in the records of the respective ministries. But today it has come into focus because the media has raised it, because it has become a subject of debate.
Okay.
And certainly it raises several questions about the integrity and the intent of the Congress
Well, when I asked one of the government officials about this timing question, I'm coming out to you, Dr. Anand Ranganathan, just listen to this. They said, listen, if we really had it out for the Congress, we would have investigated them when we put a large number of NGOs for PMLA violations and FCRA violations. We would have put this NGO also on that list and investigated them if we were really interested in exacting revenge or vendetta from the Congress party. So that's the response that came to that question. Nonetheless, Dr. Anand Ranganathan, very quickly, I need to move on. Yes.
Yes, very quickly, as I said, and I completely stick by it, the BJP and the Congress, BJP is possibly less corrupt than the Congress, but it is nobody's game to suggest that BJP is not corrupt. And as far as, because you cannot explain why this gap of 6 years before the investigation started. And as far as Mr. GVL Narasimha Rao is concerned, what was the name of the Andhra minister against whom he wanted the Directorate of ED to actually act? And then suddenly that person joined the BJP. I forget the name. Can you enlighten me, Mr. Rao?
And I have stated that all those cases, they remain. Nobody gets a clean sheet because he joins the BJP.
Okay.
And that I have stated it on record.
Viewers,
and it's on.
Viewers, the question of timing stares back at us. But certainly, if the Congress party has a clean pair of heels, here is the opportunity to seize the moral high ground, welcome the probe, come out clean, and then go to the public and say, we told you. We told you. Whether it's National Herald or the Rajiv Gandhi Trust, we are clean. This is a golden opportunity to redeem themselves in the public eye in the face of allegations. Now, many people will say they don't need to. This is all made up, fabricated. Well, they'll come out vindicated if it is fabricated, viewers. Let me move